I would describe Outside the XY as a collection of stories, voices, moments, poems, confessions, all from queer, black, and brown people of color who are not cisgendered men, but for whom masculinity still lives as a part of their identity. My name is Morgan Man Willis. My gender pronoun is she, they, or Morgan. Yeah, my experience at the Detroit book release of Outside the XY was magical. You know, I've been in Detroit since late 2011, early 2012. And as a person who is not from this city, it's been really important for me to move here and be here in solidarity with folks who live and are from and work and make it in this city every day. I think it's important to document these stories because, first of all, I think that there's this misunderstanding that masculinity belongs exclusively to cisgender males. And I think that over, the course of human history, we see over and over again how untrue and kind of sort of binary that thinking is. So a collection of people who are giving basically the experience of what it means for them to be alive is like it's proof, it's evidence that who we are and how we came to be who we are comes from so many different places and belongs to all of us as much as it belongs to anyone. I think that masculinity is a really hard thing to feel like you can name or pinpoint like what it is exactly. But the permission that we all, I think in this collection gave ourselves to really think about what it means for us is really important because it doesn't exist in this way anywhere else. Okay, so I would define masculinity as the counter to feminine energy. So it's really hard to pinpoint because, I think, and this is where I think people get caught up a lot of the time, it's not like clothes. It's not a particular attribute because I think we all have the potential to, and we do all carry different aesthetics and different attributes. I really think that it feels like this, it just feels like this way of moving through the world that lives in community with a different kind of energy. And sometimes I'm embodying both of those extremes on this really, really vast spectrum. And sometimes I'm living more in one place and more in another. But masculinity ultimately to me feels like this, everybody has a shell. So it's just a particular type of shell. In Detroit, I would say, because I think that, and I'm being very specific to Detroit, I think a lot of black culture is rooted in church and in religion. And I think that in some ways that's beautiful. And in some ways it has stopped people in their tracks towards embodying something that doesn't necessarily look like it's acceptable within that particular cultural space. So this is so particular to right here, but I think that it's really important for me to name that you are loved and you are held, and I mean that in terms of you have community here, and in terms of on like a spiritual level. I think that so many of us, especially these boys, studs, doms, AGs, however, trans men, however you want to name yourself, spend a lot of time learning how to hate ourselves and a lot of time learning how to embody the worst qualities of who we think, what we think it means to be masculine, or what we think it means to be LGBTQ. And I think that is as a result of those things providing protection and a shield from the way the world often makes us feel. So on a larger scale, I think that the advice that I would give is to take the risk of embodying who you need to be, because it doesn't matter what you do, it's never going to feel right until you move the way you feel like you need to move.